What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another episode of Retro Reviews. And today I'm sharing my story and my thing, I'm going to call it my thing or whatever you want to call it, that I have for this movie, okay? Basically, I was on a quest or a mission to get this movie on VHS. To get a good copy, right? Because I'd had other copies in the past. But, you know, back in like 2015 when I got divorced, I lost my ex got all my movies, DVD and VHS, okay? So yeah, I just thought I would share my story and reason for wanting to pursue this movie like I have. I probably was, a number of years before I finally got around to, to getting this copy here, this good copy that plays good. On VHS, good old VHS, right? So it's like, why would I do that? Why this pursuit of this movie on VHS? It's like, it is on DVD, right? Sure is, but I'll explain. Nicolas Cage, Tommy Lee Jones, Sean Young, okay? So 3 decent actors there. I want to mention this movie for a couple of reasons, alright? Number one, this was a movie where, okay, number one, I love helicopters, okay? So you can see that's what this movie's about. Those are the Apache helicopters that our military uses, okay? So, yeah, if you're a fan of helicopters, which, I am, always have been, I would even get those, like, remember, like, those model cars you would get where you'd either, you could either get the snap-on, like, the snap together, or the ones where you had to glue the cars. I would get helicopters instead of cars, okay? But, anyways, this movie, it's like, it was one I was pursuing for a long time, okay? As far as, like, getting it again on VHS, because what the deal was, this was one movie where I did a test. I compared the VHS to the DVD. For some reason, the VHS sounded better. It was true hi-fi stereo sound, okay? Because what I did was I put the TV at a certain volume, okay? So I put the VHS in first, got it to where it sounded good. I like my movies loud, somewhat loud, so I just get into it more. Put this in, sounded great. Now this was years ago I did this test. Then I put the DVD in. When I hit play, I went to the same scene of the movie, okay, so I'm comparing the same scene. It was like, the DVD was like very quiet. No kidding. I had to turn my TV like almost, I'm going to say 3/4 of the way up the volume. So let's just say, maybe it was just like, not even halfway on the VHS. Okay? Let's say between 1 and 100, just so you know. Let's say I had the VHS on 40. Okay? So on 40, the VHS was loud enough and sounded good. On the DVD, I basically had to turn up to 75 to where it was the same level as the VHS. And even though it was about the same loudness, volume level, it still didn't sound great. It sounded like mono. It wasn't like true stereo sound, hi-fi stereo sound. So I'm like, I'm assuming it was the equipment they used to record it or do the transfer to the DVD, but whatever they did, it was not a good transfer. The audio was poor. Now, of course, the picture was a little better, but the audio was just so bleh. To the point where I'm like, well, I actually prefer the VHS version over that because it just sounds better, sounds great, when the helicopters are flying and the noise when they turn. this, the sounds that makes was so noticeable. Okay, not only that, but you guys know I love me some artwork, or I love me some awesome movie posters or cover, like the cover of this here with that awesome, the helicopters with the sun in the background. I mean, that'd make a great poster, right? On the DVD, again, they even changed that to where you barely saw tiny pictures of the helicopters. They took away the sun, and it was mainly like the face of the actors, Tommy Lee Jones, Nicolas Cage, and Sean Young, like looking up this way and looking into this. Like, it was such a cheap, generic looking thing. I'm like, why did you even bother? You should have just stuck with this. Why did you bother changing it when you changed it to something lame? Okay, yeah, I'm particular on certain things. I know what I like, and it's like, sometimes change isn't always a good thing. It's like, no, you should have just left it alone, because the change you did make was for the worse. Okay, so you had that. So I remember, for whatever reason, I don't know if probably when I back in 2015 when I got divorced and that situation happened, I think I lost basically both the DVD and the VHS copy. So therefore, I was on a quest, on a mission to get me another VHS copy. Now, I did find a couple, like 2 different ones at my local Goodwill, right? But the problem, with VHS, getting it used like that, you never know, you don't know how it was taken care of, or what kind of abuse it went through when the previous owners, put it through. So yeah, the 2 different copies I got from Goodwill, the picture jumped a little bit, and was like, Now look, weird thing though, it jumped on my big screen TV. You could see it, but if I would play it on a CRT television, it looked fine. And it wasn't the VCR, because I even switched to VCRs. I put the VCR, that was up to the CRT to my big screen. I was like, okay, if that's a problem. Nope. Still did that thing. So, only thing I can say is the CRT television is more forgiving. If there's any little minor errors. Maybe it has some kind of stabilization, picture stabilization, where if it's just a little bit, it'll fix it. So basically, my big screen TV, it's not forgiving. If there's any flaws, you're gonna see it. So, obviously this type of movie, you want to watch it on the big screen, right? So, yeah, basically I went to good old trusty eBay, and found a copy, a VHS copy, put it in the VCR on the big screen, played great, no jumping or nothing, and of course the audio sounded great, so I'm like, finally. So yeah, the 3rd time was the charm. I had two from Goodwill, right, and they both did the same thing. They both, the picture was a little jumpy, and like I said, it was to the point where it wasn't really enjoyable to watch. Okay, so it's like, and I knew about the DVD. It's like, nope, I did that test years ago. I'm not doing it. So I'm gonna find sooner or later I'm gonna find me a VHS copy that plays fine and still sounds great. So yeah, this is my copy I got from eBay. Here's the good view of the side there, the lettering, and then here's a screenshot of the back. I just thought I would just make a short video about this movie in particular, because I got a video coming up pretty soon. It's going to be my top 100 movies of all time. So my favorite 100 movies of all time. So it's going to be a pretty long video. You know, it's going to take me a long time to edit. And I basically call it brewing the video. After the editing is done, then I hit save. That's like the video is brewing, right? When it's saving all the things that I did. So yeah, it's going to take a long time to edit, to brew it, and then upload it. It's probably going to be over an hour long video. Just is, because, you know, 100 movies, and then I do talk about all 100, I mean, at least a little bit. So I just wanted to do a separate video for this movie because of the story, you know, the history, the testing, the difference of the DVD and the VHS, where the sound was better on VHS. And even, like I said, even though the DVD, the picture quality was a little better, as long as this is clear, not jumping, I'll sacrifice that slightly better picture quality for the kick-ass better hi-fi stereo sound, where, especially like a movie like this, where helicopters, where they're, you know, or you know, the machine guns are firing, or the firing the missiles, you know, the heat-seeking missiles. It's like, and the explosions, like certain, like, I don't know, if it was a comedy movie, you probably wouldn't care, you know, because really, what kind of, I mean, but when you're having a movie where you got sound effects, like guns firing, helicopters flying, you know, the missiles firing, and the explosions, you want the sound to be on point, right? So that's why I set out, and I was determined to get a good VHS copy of Firebirds, because it didn't make my top 100, okay? It didn't. Because, you know, the movie itself, I'm going to say it's a good movie. It's not great, okay? It's good, it's solid. It could have been a lot better, you know? You know, Tommy Lee Jones, he's probably the best actor in the movie, or as far as he did the best job playing his character. Nicolas Cage, this was kind of before he became popular. I think Nicolas Cage was still trying to find his way. Okay, so this came out in 1991. So this was well before Con Air, which I think that was 96. So, you know, 5 years makes a big difference. Also, The Rock was during that time. I think that came out the year after Con Air. I think that was 97. So he was still kind of a young buck in this movie. He's not terrible in it, alright, but he's not, he's mediocre, you know, so-so. Sean Young, you know, she's the woman from Blade Runner. She's in it, and she's the love interest. She's okay too. She's kind of okay, and yeah. So, you know, but yeah, Tommy Lee Jones is basically the best performance in the movie as far as acting goes. But really, this kind of movie, you watch it for the helicopters, you watch it for the action, right? The missions that they're on, and stuff like that. So, anyways, I just wanted to do, hopefully not too long of a video about this movie, why I like it, because I love helicopters. You know, I wish they would make more movies that kind of, you know, have a lot of helicopters. I mean, helicopters are in a lot of movies, but I mean, like, you know, it's like this, where it's kind of the focal point. Like this, you got this. You have Blue Thunder, of course. You know, of course, I love the show Airwolf in the 80s. You know, that was like that real fast, where it had the turbos. It could fly as fast as a jet, Mach 1 speed. So, yeah, I wish they would make more movies like this about helicopters. I did like the one, I think it was called San Andreas, where, you know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he was a helicopter pilot. So that was pretty cool. I kind of dug that one a little bit. But yeah, have you guys ever watched this movie, Firebirds, or even heard of it? You can probably find it online, on streaming, or, you know, I mean, almost anything's available nowadays in any way, shape, or form you want it. So, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, and if, again, don't expect a lot from the acting or their performances. Or the story even. Again, this type of movie, it's like you want to see some helicopter action and flying, you know, again, with real helicopters, not CGI crap. Yeah, you guys know I'm not a fan of CGI, especially like overdoing it. It's like, yeah, sprinkle it in here and there. Like Terminator 2 was perfect, right? They did practical effects as much as they could. I mean, even like when the T-1000 was flying the helicopter, chasing the, chasing them in the police van, and they flew under a bridge. That was a real helicopter pilot flew that under a bridge. That was not CGI, okay? So they did real stuff as much as they could, and they sprinkled in some CGI here and there when they had to, right? When it was necessary. To me, movies need to be like that. I want to see some real stuff. Again, not a video game, right? So that's why I love and appreciate the retro movies more so than the newer ones, because it's just all... It's like, yeah, the CGI is better, but don't make that the focal point in the whole movie. It's like, that's all it is, and actors in front of a green screen all the time. Put those actors in a real... on location somewhere, in a real setting. Yeah, so anyways, enough about all that, but yeah, Firebirds, kick-ass, helicopter action movie. Basically, yeah, you can see there, it says if you enjoyed Top Gun, you'll have a good time. It's basically kind of similar to it's basically kind of like Top Gun, but with helicopters instead of jets. Similar, I'm not saying it's that same, it ain't on that same level as Top Gun as far as like the caliber of movie. But I still enjoy this movie. I'll watch it in. I'll pop it in from time to time. Probably at least sometime, maybe once a year, maybe. It's just enjoyable. So leave me some comments below. Do you guys think I'm crazy for pursuing this movie like that? You're pursuing a VHS copy that played good, or do you understand? Because like I said, the sound. This is a movie where the sound matters, and that's basically what I did. But do you guys think I'm crazy? For being on a mission to find a good VHS copy of Firebirds? And let me know if you've seen this movie. Let me know what you think of the movie if you have seen it. All right, I'd be curious to know your thoughts of it. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. But if this is your first time to the channel, tap that red subscribe button down there, then the bell next to it, ding ding, and that way you'll be notified when I upload new videos, okay? So until next time, keep it retro. For another episode of Retro Reviews, and today I'm sharing my thing about this movie.
Firebirds, God damn you! Alright, enough!
Just